What's up, y'all? It's Terrence, and I'm back with another review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Wonder Woman movie 1984. This movie is a movie I happened to come across. Well, not happened to come across. It was kind of anticipated. I wanted to see this movie. I seen the previews. I tried to hype myself up to see the movie, try to get me prepared for the movie, and let's go ahead and get right into it. This movie comes in at like 2 hours and 40 minutes or 30 minutes, somewhere in there like that. I can't remember the exact time. I don't have any notes on me handy. I'm usually don't have my notes, so I'm going off of pure memory. This movie is pretty lengthy, so make sure you got a nice, comfortable seat because you're gonna be here for a minute. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. This movie wasn't good to me, in my opinion, man. I'm not even gonna hold you up. Movie was long. I feel like it was drawn out. The plot was spotty. There had some good ideas throughout the movie, but I feel like it fell flat, man. I honestly don't even feel like this was better than the first one. And I thought the first one was bad as well. There's nothing wrong with the ideal of Wonder Woman. It's just like how they execute a lot of this stuff in a movie that just fell flat for me. The visuals was pretty good, but it was a lot of times throughout the movie where the CGI, not even CGI, but some of the stunts that they was pulling or some of the things that they was doing was spotty looking, and it just didn't look authentic, or it didn't give an authenticity to the fight scenes, to her running. Like, it was parts where she was running and it looked like she was on a treadmill. It didn't even look like she was running in the streets for real. And the plot was real thin. Like y'all know, I do spoiler alert, so y'all already know I'm gonna give away some of the stuff in the movie. But it was like the storyline pretty much was it was a bad guy. Well, he's not really a bad guy. It was a guy who was trying to better his life, and he knew about this magical stone that can grant wishes. But when they grant a wish, it's at a cost. With that being a premise, it sounds like it could work, you know what I'm saying, in Wonder Woman's favor, because this is a superhero movie. So you would think that that will work, right? Well, no, it don't work. It fall flat because a lot of stuff that when the other people was granting wishes, it would take stuff away from them that didn't make sense. Like the main bad guy, or the second main bad guy, which is Cheetah Woman or whatever the hell her name is, Leopard Girl, or I think she was a leopard or a cheetah, I'm not sure. But when she granted her wish to get her powers, it took away her kindness from her. Who's to say that's her best attribute, or that's something that she even care about? Like, how do that even equate for something like that? And then what Wonder Woman made a wish, it took away her powers. How come it took away her niceness? She was a kind person. Like, I don't get it. So, like I said, it was a lot of flaws throughout the movie, and the movie is just drawn out. It was way too long for me, way too long, especially for it to be so thin like that. The plot was so thin that it didn't have to be that long. I feel like if they would have made this movie probably a hour and 30 minutes long and jammed all that same stuff into the movie, I feel like I would have gave it a higher score, even though I haven't revealed my score yet. It probably would have got a higher score because the visuals, like I said, wasn't too bad. It's just the plot and the execution was bad, and the actors was pretty good too. But it was like corny acting at times, like corny dialogue rather. But one thing that really irked me the most about this movie, and I don't know about anybody else, but it was the fact that she was able to do stuff just on the fly out of nowhere. Like, for example, she heard that her dad made something turn invisible, so while she was flying the jet, she just made the jet turn invisible out of nowhere. That's one of her powers, that she could just make stuff turn invisible. So I'm thinking, like, she gotta go get the bad guy instead of fighting all his guards or whatever going on. Why don't you just make yourself turn invisible? Like, I don't get that part. Maybe some hardcore DC fans could let me know in the comments below, because I didn't get that. And there's a lot of things that wasn't just explained well in the movie. Like, she wanted to learn how to fly, and the guy explained to her how to fly, but in the terms of why he was driving a jet. So he telling her how to fly. If she wanted to fly a jet, he telling her how to fly a jet pretty much. Well, true, Lord and behold, towards the end of the movie, or at the end of the movie, she tried to fly regularly and use his, what he was saying, to help her fly. I'm like, how do that equate with flying? But she really wasn't flying. It was like she was gliding or something. I don't know. I was just confused by that whole part. the number one thing that really irked my nerves the most out of everything is the fight scenes, man. Stop making these dumb fight scenes where these women always wrapping their legs around somebody while they fighting. These two girls was fighting at the end of the movie, the big fight scene of the whole movie. They, instead of throwing blows or punches or whatever, like anybody would do in a regular fight, they got to a point where they jumped in the air and they locked legs and they were just trolling around in a circle and they wasn't throwing no punches to each other. They just locking legs with each other. I'm like, that don't even make sense in any aspect of any type of fight. Nobody don't just lock legs. And I didn't like that. I thought that was real corny. And I wish film directors would stop, or whoever doing the choreography for these fights would stop doing that in these girl movies. Girls can fight regular. They don't have to lock legs or wrap their legs around somebody to slam them on the ground. That just so corny and so whack to me. Well, I don't mean to rant. It's a whole bunch of other problems about this movie. I could go on and on and on and on. But I'm not going to give it a trash review. I don't think this movie was all the way trash, but I definitely don't feel like it's worth a watch again. This movie gets a 1. A 1 in my opinion. Yes, a 1. And it would be trash, but there are some parts in the movie that was engaging to me and I thought was pretty okay, you know what I'm saying? But not enough for me to watch it again. Not for me to recommend this movie. I wouldn't recommend nobody to watch this movie. I pretty much told you the movie in less than 5 minutes probably. However long this review ended up being. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you like it. And I'll catch you on the next review. God bless and peace.